Hello, welcome back to The Weekend with me, Dawn Neeson. Thank you very much for your company. Now, Conservative activist Charlie Kirk's wife, Erica, has spoken publicly for the first time since his death in a very emotional statement overnight. She pledged to never let his legacy die. Have a listen.
My husband laid down his life for me, for our nation, for our children. He showed the ultimate and true covenantal love. I will never, ever have the words to describe the loss that I feel in my heart. I honestly have no idea what any of this means. I know that God does, but I don't. But Charlie, baby, I know you do too. I know you do.
I have no idea how she did that. I really don't. One very brave lady. It comes as the suspect for Charlie Kirk's murder has been named. He is a 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, and he was arrested after being persuaded by his dad to hand himself in. Tributes do continue to pour in from across the globe, including a vigil held by Turning Point UK, which was the organisation Charlie set up in America, in central London last night. The chief executive of Turning Point UK, Jack Ross, I'm pleased to say, joins me now. Jack, thank you so much for coming in. Really appreciate your time. Firstly, tell me a little bit about how last night went, the vigil for Charlie.
It was incredibly touching. We actually had to move locations because there were so many people. We had to move further up the road because we filled the pavement. I don't think we knew quite exactly how much Charlie was loved in this country. And actually, when we went out and bought all the candles, I was thinking, oh, maybe we've got too many, it might look a bit sick, but we ended up not having enough for everyone. Incredible that people had come over from New Zealand to join us. The Hacker tribute was really touching.
That was, yeah, brilliant. I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, and also the fact that we had so many church groups who came, and at one point, when everyone was holding the candles, the crowd just broke out. We didn't plan it into song, and everyone really came together, and we've been really touched by it. It's helped provide, it's not brought Charlie back, but it's helped provide a little bit of closure for everyone.
Yeah, I can tell you're emotional. I'm sorry but I mean, because you did know Charlie personally as well. What does his loss mean to your movement? Does it strengthen the movement? Does it mean that you're going to carry on in Charlie's name fighting?
So, Charlie, after the brutal assassination of Charlie, we are in grieving at the moment, but we are going to pick up his torch. We are going to pull ourselves together, and when he was horrifically assassinated, it created a million Charlie Kirks across the world. And we're not going to let this extremist terrorist win. The terrorists want to shut us down. They want to silence us with violence, and we're not going to give them the satisfaction. We're going to come back stronger than ever. Because
the one thing Charlie was about was debate, not hate. He had his beliefs, and, you know, I personally didn't agree with his beliefs on abortion, for example. But, you know, you talk to people, and that's what Charlie was so good at. One thing you mentioned in the break just now, that you believe the attacker, Tyler Robinson, had actually been at one of the rallies that Charlie had held. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
So Tyler Robinson looks very similar to a left-wing activist who was debating Charlie about a month ago, who came up with a megaphone, and Charlie made him look very silly. So it looks like potentially a motive was because he was unable to debate Charlie, so he killed him. We haven't got that confirmed, but that's what it certainly looks like.
This is chilling. I mean, how does that make you feel that, you know, that happened just a few weeks ago?
It's certainly worrying. We've upped our security at Turning Point. So yesterday, it's the first time we've had to go out with bodyguards around us. It's the first time in Britain I've had to wear a bulletproof vest. Same with my COO, Nick Tenconi. We're very worried about copycat killings. This assassination has legitimised to extremists that they can go and kill people now. It's set a new standard, and we're very worried about this happening over here. We're seeing people online calling for our deaths. We've had multiple death threats. We've had people laughing. And one of the things we were hoping, as horrible as what happened to Charlie, it would be a wake-up call for a lot of people to watch their rhetoric, to watch how they brand us, to watch them openly calling for violence. But it's brought some people, and it's opened some people's eyes, but a lot of people have doubled down, and it's massively concerning. We're also concerned again about the two-tier element. You look at Lucy Connolly, she tweeted something stupid and she went to prison for a very long time for it. Whereas you have people on the left saying absolutely horrific things to us at the moment, threatening to kill us, which is further than what
You had a particularly horrific one this morning, I understand.
Yeah, we saw one on TikTok where a TikTok creator, she got 200,000 followers, was saying death to them all. calling for our deaths. And we don't expect the people pushing that message to actually go out and kill us, but it's who that message goes out to is incredibly worrying. I'm getting texts all the time from people at the moment saying, oh, you shouldn't go out. I'm getting people saying, oh, I live in a rural part of the country. Do you want to come and stay with me? And there's a real fear on the right. But as I said, we're not going to let them win. We're not going to be intimidated. If we've got to go out in a full bomb suit, we will. But we won't back down, and we're going to keep Charlie's message going.
Jack, this is ridiculous because it's all over the fact that Charlie, as you know, Turning Point is about engaging young people in politics, about debating your differences. I mean, sort of like, you know, I'm watching many clips of Charlie on YouTube and sort of like debating with people who wanted a fight. And Charlie was not about that aggression. He was, you know, he was an arch debater, considering he dropped out of college himself, but taking on, you know, the Cambridge and Oxford University over here.
Well, certainly, and I think that's the thing where a lot of Charlie's critics have misunderstood him. He was a Christian man, he was a good man, and he genuinely extended his hand across the aisle. When he debated OnlyFans creators, it wasn't to ridicule them or call them degenerates or say they're going to burn in hell. It was to try and convince them to make better life decisions, to start a family, to stop prostituting themselves online. Same as with transgender individuals. Charlie didn't hate trans people. He just thought it was abhorrent that people are encouraging people who are legally mentally ill, they have gender dysphoria, mental health condition, to have irreversible surgery. Charlie thought that was wrong, and that's why he was so passionate about it. And this is, again, what I think a lot of his critics have misunderstood. It all came from a good place, his debate. He always tried to be as polite as possible, and when he debated ardent communists, again, it wasn't to ridicule them, it was to help challenge their ideas, because a lot of these people haven't actually had their ideas tested. And that's why he was so successful about bringing people over, because he provided a different voice to younger people.
Yeah. Why did you get involved, just briefly, why did you get involved with Charlie in the first place? What made you attracted to Charlie's movement?
So I was one of the founders back in 2019. I was still in university myself. I went to Sussex University, which is a very left-wing institution.
Most of them do tend to be fair.
And I noted a real bias in how I was treated. For example, I wrote a piece where I had to compare the IRA to a modern-day terrorist organisation, so I compared them to the alt-right in America. And I said, well, they're both extremists. And I got a third for it because the lecturer turned out she was pro-IRA and was offended that I would compare the IRA to the genuine far right. And that's the type of thing at university which worried me in my own personal experience. And then after starting Turning Point UK, we've heard hundreds, if not thousands, of horrific stories where students are being discriminated against on campus. But what we are going to do now is we paused our campus efforts before because we met so much hostility from universities. But following what's happened in America, we're marching forward to restart our campus campaign. Inspired by what's happened, which is a positive thing to come out of it. Thank you very much, Jack. That is very good of you to come in and talk to us today. I appreciate it. It wasn't easy for you. Thank you very much, Jack Ross. Thank you, and take care. Obviously, take care of yourself. OK, that was Jack Ross, Executive of Turning Point UK.